The question today comes from @Engineer JST. And Engineer JST asks, Sino ang Paul Pierce of the PBA? Who's the Paul Pierce of the PBA? Alright.
Sino mo mabaho yung headband?
Wow!
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I always had this theory, parang I've only seen it happen to Shaquille O'Neal and Zach Randolph na pag pinawisan sila yung jersey nila darker kesa sa jersey ng mga kampi nila.
Okay.
Si Paul Pierce yung headband niya, yung dati nagsastart siya Celtic green, pagdating fourth quarter, moss green.
Yeah, because it's sweat. It can't
Pero sa kanya lang nangyayari. Ngayon sa Wizards, red siya, sa dulo, siya UP Fighting Maroons na yung kulay. But it only happens to him. I don't know what's with his sweat.
Baka pahiya, ayaw niya magpalit ng headband. I mean, I'm sure they have like
that's even grosser.
They have a supply of headbands.
At least they wear it for a purpose, diba? Hindi yung mga tipong forma lang gusto ng headband.
Or takpan lang yung nakakalbo sila.
Or yung kay Cybags dati. Lucky! Nag-Philippine National Team, ganito yung headband eh. Sorry.
Okay. So, after that very productive
Intro.
Nico, who is your Paul Pierce of the PBA?
The Spark! Mark Kagiwa.
Why?
Because he wants the Ginebra fans to love him.
No.
He wants clicks.
I'm not sure if the Ginebra fans will love this, but Mark used to be your automatic 20-point guy.
Okay.
Paul Pierce used to be your automatic 20-point guy.
Okay.
Paul Pierce used to run with Antoine Walker. They used to be the duo. Mark Kagiwa used to run with JJ Helterbrand. They brisk walk.
Okay.
But Mark could have 0 points in a game. He could be having such a bad game. Pwedeng 0-for-9 yung shooting ni Mark. But if it was the fourth quarter with 8 seconds left, and I was a Ginebra fan, tas yung bola mapupunta sa isang tao, I'd be like, kay Kagiwa na lang natin ito bigay. Live or die tayo kay Mark. He has that shot, he has that step back, and yung little floater na ngayon, I can go to sleep knowing na natalo kami if Mark Kagiwa took the shot. And he's proven, much like Paul Pierce has proven, if you give him that shot, he's gonna do something good with it.
Yeah.
Naka-headband din siya. Mostly.
Sana Mark does a game winner soon, and then pag in-interview siya, I call game.
Yeah.
Yes!
I call
So
game.
badass.
I call Jim. I call Jim. Okay, good choice.
I called Chupon.
Susie!
Okay, initially, you know what, on the topic of Ginebra, I'd say Barakael because may isang nasaksak, isang nabaril. And then there's still fire. But, okay.
Dapat siya yung NSD natin eh.
He didn't die!
You know what it is? Dumaming goat dito eh. Dumaming goats eh.
Your goat quota increase.
Oh my.
Huwag natin kaya
So much livestock on Upper B.
Walang alam na sa PBA. Okay, no,
No pets allowed sa arena, di ba?
no, Nico Ramos allowed na rin ba sa games?
Anyway.
My real choice would be James Young.
James
Okay?
Young?
Do you remember that final series? I can't remember who it was against. But he was injured for the most part. But, sino, Talking Text ba yun?
Talking Text yung big
Tapos,
shots.
he was injured, kakagaling lang injury for most of, not just the series, but for most of the conference. And then when he came back, he was just like hitting all these big shots.
Yeah,
you know?
Finals MVP then.
Yeah. Yes, that was the series na nag-finals MVP siya. And I mean, like Paul Pierce won't exactly show up for you the entire season. And I think that conference is where I'm largely basing why I'm saying James Yap. But
Why not?
for me, siya.
Why not?
Kasi Charles, diba, he's not always there when you call, but
I forgot, I'm sorry.
Charles!
you had one job.
Basta Jarul.
Always on time.
Yun ba yun?
Yes!
Which is basically all of his hip hop.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Di ba always there when you need him?
No, Charles. Can you please just tell us
Okay,
your choice?
okay.
Tsaka si scores.
Song.
That's it. That's all of Charles' hip hop knowledge.
What?
Who's your pick?
My pick.
Cisco.
I don't have a pick. Although
Silver hair.
I do like your picks, but that's basically saying rin that the two guys you mentioned aren't among the top 20 players in the PBA anymore.
Oh no, we're not saying that.
No.
Like Paul Pierce is nowhere near the top player of the NBA. Like you said, he's just a role player. So we're saying Mark Agi was not a star, James Yap's not a star.
No.
I think
I
we're
don't
not.
say
I
that.
think we're not being super strict with the definition. Just the idea na you have a veteran guy who's not scoring regularly 20, 25 points, but when he has the ball, crunch time, you expect magic to happen.
True.
Actually, I like both their picks really. I mean, they're right. At their primes talaga, grabe. You couldn't stop them. You give them the
Are
ball.
you saying they're no
get
longer
buck-
in their primes?
Yes, I'm saying they're no longer in their primes.
Look at the balls on
They,
this guy.
they get buckets, but now, situationally, I mean, like Nico said, you give at the end of the day, you last shot, I think you'd still give it to Kagiwa, you'd still give it to James Yap. Siguro nahirapan na ako sa Paul Pierce attitude kasi mayabang si Paul Pierce and he really talks smack
Yes, he
people to
does.
reporters. I mean, I've never seen James Yap say
So
anything.
James doesn't have that attitude, but Mark Kagiwa probably
Pero
has
hindi
that.
eh.
Especially on
Online.
Twitter.
On Twitter, but more it's rallying the Ginebra fans. Parang, tayo lang nandito.
But
Parang ganun.
not razzing the other team.
Yung mga, I'm here, I'm the big shots, I called game, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, parang series and oops,
Series! And then that's just the other part to start.
Yeah, so I rarely see it. Although I do remember back in his younger days, I mean, may angas talaga si Kagiwa sa kalaban. Di ba may rivalry sila ni Kabagnot that time? I mean, I know the PBA was building that up, but I don't think Mark is mayabang like, kasi Paul Pierce mayabang talaga eh.
Well, let's face it, there's probably no one in the PBA na yung...
I think everybody's sort of polite,
Yeah,
trying to
maybe
be
it's like
politically
a-
correct.
yeah,
or
probably.
something.
Pareho silang kondo kasi nakikita-kita sila lahat eh.
Yun nga lang. But
I would, yeah, go ahead.
yun lang, I mean, I really couldn't think of any, but I totally agree with their two picks.
I'm gonna add one more. You already mentioned him. Kabagi. Kabagi's that guy. I mean...
Thank you.
Okay, let's just take a shot.
Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Kabagnot.
Okay. All right. So anyway, Kabagi is that guy. Na, he could be pass the ball to Arwin, pass the ball to Judmar the whole game, but 5 seconds to go, 7 seconds to go, he has the ball. You totally expect him.
True.
Crunchman.
The Crunchman Chicharon. You totally expect him to take that shot and win the game. Very Paul Pierce like.
So find that as hero ball.
Nico?
No, look, the thing, my big problem always is when they criticize guys like Alex Cabagnot and Hero Ball is this. If you've ever played point guard at any level and gipitan, the game is close, whether it's inter-barangay or whether you've played in the UAAP or in the PBA, kapag in the dying seconds and the game is tied, you're down 1, you're down 3 or whatever, yung passing lane na yan sumisikip.
Yes.
It gets harder to pass the ball. It literally gets more difficult to get the ball from point A to point B. Now, sometimes the option that you have, and coaches will run this, is you run ISO with your best ball handler, with your best shot maker, someone who can find their own shot. Pag na-shoot naman, walang problema eh. Pag mintes, hero ball.
Yeah, Paul Pierce is hero ball.
Yes.
And I appreciate guys who actually aren't afraid to take the best shot. They can miss, they can be criticized, but they'll still take it. And mas bilib ako sa ganun kasi maraming players na tumatago sa bola pagdating sa
That's
crucial
true.
situation. So bali ako lang yung walang contribution sa episode na to. Kayong tatlo may pick, ako wala.
It's okay, Charles.
Because no
You're
one is ever
valuable.
good enough for you.
Except
Yes.
me.
Wow.
Do you have something to say about that?
We would love to hear your thoughts at @upper_B. Do follow us and don't forget also to check out Buhay Basket on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Ganito lang dito, landian lang sila landian.
Yeah, every day. Every day.
Sarap.
No one has ever used Paul Pierce to landi. I'm impressed.
Oh, I have.
Every day.
Cut.